Hi everyone, my name is Natalie Ledwell and this is The Inspiration Show. Now today on the show we're going to be talking about happiness, where happiness comes from, and some of the amazing new technology and gadgets that are available today that actually help to raise our vibration and raise our happiness levels. In an age where we're often talking about how detrimental technology can be to communication and connection and happiness, I have my special guest today is actually going to be explaining to us what is available at our disposal. It's actually going to help to raise our happiness levels. So please welcome my guest, Mr. Jonathan Robinson. How are you, Jonathan?
Hi, Natalie. I'm doing great.
Awesome. Awesome. So why don't we start with your story? Because this is not we're going to actually be talking about your book, The Technology of Joy, but this is not your first book. You've done many books before now. So what got you into this kind of work?
Well, first, to heal myself, I had the blessing of a miserable childhood, so it got me into things like hypnosis and meditation at age 12. So I've always looked for the best and most efficient ways to feel better and heal myself, and that led to a whole career. And after Oprah liked my books, it led to a speaking career and the whole bit. So I'm very lucky that I had a difficult childhood, so I would get into this at an early age.
Well, you've actually just touched on a very important part of happiness, and which is being grateful, I think. And I also agree that even though we may have had challenging childhoods or bad things things have happened to us that we perceive as being bad, there's always some kind of silver lining, or there's something good that always comes out of it. So this is obviously how you live your life, which is awesome. All right, so let's talk about the technology of joy. So when we're talking about technology, what kind of things are we talking about?
Well, there's a lot of things out now, from apps to gadgets to things that are even things that you affect your brain waves and such like that can really make you feel incredibly good very quickly, and most people don't know about them, including supplements. I start my mornings by taking a supplement that makes me feel really great, and it's legal and it's safe. Most people don't know about that. Then I put on what's called a transcranial stimulator that gets my endorphins going, and it's a fantastic way to feel good, and when I feel good, I'm more productive. So what I'm trying to do is get these technologies more known, because they're getting better and better, and most people are still trying to find happiness the old-fashioned way, which is trying to control every person and situation in their life to be the way they want. And that's a pretty tiresome activity.
It is. All right, so let's backtrack a little bit. So when we talk about happiness, what do you think are the components that make up a happy life?
Well, they've actually studied this, and they say it really consists of 5 things. One is pleasure. Another is losing yourself in activities like sports or something like that. The most important one is relationships, having good relationships, having a sense of meaning, and having a sense of accomplishment. So if you have those 5 ingredients, you're probably pretty happy, but if one of them is missing, you might be in trouble. So what I did in the book was I talked about how it has 101 different technologies in the book. Mm-hmm. I talk about how each one can either increase your pleasure or your meaning or your relationships. So you kind of find out what is missing in your life, and you find a technology that helps you to plug that hole.
Awesome. So how do we identify what's missing? We may think we've got it all together. How do we identify which part of that component is missing? I think maybe sometimes we think we've got it all together, but is there a method that we can figure that out?
Well, I actually have a questionnaire on my website, finds with that. But I think people can say, just list on 1 to 10 scale, how good am I doing on pleasure in my life? How good am I doing in my relationships? And find the thing that's weakest in your life, and find something that will help you to get that more in your life more effectively. So that's a really simple way. And for a lot of people nowadays, they don't have a deep sense of meaning, or they don't have enough intimacy in their relationships. So I would say that's a good place to start, because if you have a lot of really good, meaningful, intimate relationships, you're generally pretty happy.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's all about the connection and everything. All right, so let's go into some of the technologies, and we'll talk about the technology for intimate relationships later. I'll leave that to the end of the of the interview. But why don't we start with nutrition? Like, what can we taking on a daily basis to really help us, raise our joy levels?
Well, there's several supplements that you can take that both increase your mood, your focus, and your energy level. The book but called Solbutadiene. It's a B1 vitamin that crosses the blood-brain barrier. And when you take it, it's like your brain wakes up, and it's good for you, and it feels good. And whenever things are good for you and feel good, that's a good keeper. And then, of course, there's the things like vitamin D or omega-3s or all the standard things that medical science says these things are really important. And strangely enough, even flossing your teeth can make a difference in the probiotic, because we have a lot of bacteria in our body, and if you find the right probiotic or if you floss your teeth, it keeps harmful bacteria away from you. So little things like this can actually add 9 years of your life. If you take vitamin D, omega-3, and floss your teeth every day, you add 9 years to your life. And when you take the cognitive enhancers, like that B1 vitamin, you feel a lot better, and really just pennies a day. So it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. I mean, you're not talking about taking something that's going to give you this high euphoric feeling. It's just something that actually helps to keep you in that level, I think, where, when you're in that happy level, it's easier for you to see solutions. It's easier for you to take action and have the motivation to do what you need to do. And it's easier for you to put in the extra effort, to nurture the relationships that you have in your life and the connections that you have. Yeah.
When you feel good, you tend to act better. And, it's interesting. There's this studies that show that happy people make $750,000 more over the course of their life than unhappy people in the same jobs. So, when you feel good, would you rather do business with somebody who feels good and is grateful and is kind to you, or somebody who's a grouch? It's a pretty simple decision.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, hello, Sherlock. Of course, we know exactly what the answer is to that. So tell me about some of the technology that you've come across. Like, what's the piece of technology that you've come across that you've gone, wow, this really blows my hair back?
Yeah, well, actually, there's a lot of them. Surprisingly, as I researched for the book, one of them is this chair that, if you sit in it, induces profound meditative experiences. That's one. But that's expensive. There's something that I like called a tingler. That's a $1 object that you use to scalp. You put on your scalp and it gives you tingles. That just costs $1, and that's a pretty good technology. But I like some of the supplements, these cognitive enhancers, because they're very quick and easy, and they really have quite an effect. So I like those technologies. I also like some of these what are called transcranial stimulators that increase your endorphin levels. But everybody has to find the thing that works for them, so you have to go through a little bit of a trial and error period until you find those 3 or 4 things that just really rock your world.
Yeah, I know, because the last time you and I saw each other, we were talking about the Muse, which I was given as a gift, which, is a thing that you put across your head, and it, helps to, to tell you whether you're in meditative state, whether you think you are or not.
Yeah. The Muse is like a little EEG machine, which I didn't care for. Some people love it. That's why you have to try a few things. But I like the ones that they don't take long to learn, and I'm also a little cheap, so I like the ones that cost under $50. And the Muse is about $300.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. So tell me about some of the apps and things that are out at the moment as well, because a lot of people seem to be creating, apps for both Android and iPhone that are really easy and very cheap, and some of them are actually free.
Yeah. Like there's apps called Gratitude Journal that helps you to increase the amount of gratitude you have. There's a lot of good apps for dating now, even, So things like Hitch or other things that are a lot better than Tinder that allow people to match up in a certain way, like through your Facebook friends. But I like the ones that also create more intimacy in your relationship. There's a good one called Couple that's very good, that creates reminders of going on special occasions and doing great things with your mate. In this day and age where we have what I call WMDs, widgets of mass distraction, and we're all distracted, what we need are a new form of digits of mass delight. And some of these apps really can help you create more intimacy and connection and help you to tune into gratitude and peace. You know, there's things like Buddhify 2 or Headspace, which have all these guided meditations that help you to feel more peaceful no matter what situation you're in. So when you find a few of these apps that really work for you or work in your relationship, your life is never the same because they're so convenient.
Yeah, that's right. They're very easy. They're very convenient, and they're simple to use, which is what I really love about this as well. So so tell me, what is the motivation behind writing this book? You know, what are you hoping? Who are you hoping to reach, and what's the message that you have?
Well, you know, I had the unusual experience in 1972 of being in a computer class with Steve Jobs. He was in the high school I was in. I was younger than him. And he and I were always vying for this computer that was about the size of a refrigerator that played tic-tac-toe. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he wasn't Steve Jobs. He was just a nerdy. I was always, like, battling with him over this computer. And I said, why are you so obsessed with this machine? And Steve said, don't you see? This machine is going to change the world. It's going to change everything. Well, at the time, it was hard to see that this refrigerator-sized machine that played tic-tac-toe is going to change the world, but Steve Jobs was right. Mm-hmm. And I believe that these technologies that help us to have more intimacy, more gratitude, more peace, more joy, that keep getting better and better, these supplements, these apps, these brain machines, etc., are going to literally change the world. Because most people don't experience that much joy in their life. And, you know, watching TV or whatever isn't that fantastic. But when you experience some of these devices, they are really good, and I do believe that they will change the world. So I'm trying to get the message out there and hopefully improve people's lives.
Yeah, no, hence why I invited you to come on the show, because we really want to get the word out there. And I believe that we, you know, all of us, you know, that are in this world, you know, we're doing we are getting the word out, and we're trying to change the world in our own way. But what you've done is actually tapped into a message that is accessible to everybody, you know, and you don't necessarily have to believe in law of attraction and have certain practices and be spiritual to be able to take advantage of the technologies that you outline in your book. So I think it's just such a great cause, and I'm so glad to be able to support you in it. Yeah,
well, thank you, Natalie. I'm a practical guy, so I if something works for me, I like to let other people know about it too.
Exactly. So if people want to get their hands on the book or connect with you, where can we send them to do that?
Well, they get the book at Amazon or my website, which is findinghappiness.com. There's a link there, and they can get in touch with me through the website as well.
Perfect.
Findinghappiness.com.
Yeah. Guys, I encourage you to not only reach out to Jonathan and go to his website, download the book or buy the book, but also to share this video. Because we want to get the word out there, and there's no reason why we can't all be living really content, happy, and joyful lives. And through some simple technologies like this, we can definitely do that. So thanks again, Jonathan, for joining me today. I'm really happy that you joined me.
My pleasure, Natalie.
Awesome. So guys, if you're watching this online, click on the banner to the side there to go through to Jonathan's website, or if you're watching it on the app, make sure that you click the banner underneath, and share the video by clicking the Facebook and the Twitter share buttons on this page. And don't forget to leave your email so that we can send you the Manifesting with a Masters video e-course. So until next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.